Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I'm Emma and this is your place to learn about language, culture, and travel. As many of you know, I have been living in Spain for about 3.5 years. I have been living in Seville, in the south of Spain, and I'm currently in the US visiting my family for the summer. So I'll be here for a few months. And a few weeks ago, I had a strange situation in my neighborhood. So I want to share this story with you so you guys can have a context of what life is like or what people are like here in the US. So a few weeks ago, I had just arrived to Seattle and I was super excited to be home, super happy to be back in my city. And I decided to go on a walk around my neighborhood and I brought my nephew with me. I have a 3-year-old nephew and we decided to go on a walk around the neighborhood to admire our neighbors' gardens and yards. It was a beautiful sunny day, so we wanted to be outside. So we went on a walk around our neighborhood, looking at all of our neighbors' yards, all of our neighbors' decorations, and one house in particular stood out to us. He pointed at this house because it had a beautiful wind chime that was shining in the sunlight. And this house also had many American flags, about 10 American flags on their fence. So that right there was a red flag. But anyway, so we walk up to this person's house and we were looking at the beautiful wind chime, the decoration that they had on their fence. And my cousin was pointing, look. And all of a sudden, I just see some lady outside her window, creeping out her window, looking like observing us. And she said, "How can I help you?" And I said, "Oh, we're just admiring your yard. You have very beautiful decorations." And she said, "Can you get away from my property?" So let me say that a little bit slower so you can understand. She kicked me off her property. She said, "Can you get away from my property?" Knowing that I had a little baby with me admiring her decorations. So this whole situation really shocked me. It felt like a reverse culture shock. Coming from Spain where people tend to be very friendly, to come here and have people kick me off their property for admiring and looking at their decorations was a huge shock. So after reflecting on this situation for a few weeks, I decided that I wanted to make a video sharing with you guys a few things that I really hate about the US. I was born and raised here. I grew up in Seattle, Washington, and after living in Europe for 4 years, my mindset has changed so much. And coming back here, every time I'm just reminded of why I live in Spain. So make sure to stay until the end of the video because I'm going to share some funny messages, some propaganda messages that I got from politicians to my phone. I'll explain more later. Stay until the end of the video to hear those messages. And if you like my videos, please give this video a like, subscribe to my channel, and if you're listening on Spotify, give this podcast a 5-star review. So let's get into some things that I hate about my country. So one of the things that I hate about the US is the extreme individualism. I'm from Seattle, Washington in the Pacific Northwest. It might be a Seattle thing, I don't know, but people are so individualistic and everything is my property, your property. Everything is very separated. Mine, yours. You stay in your lane, I'm gonna stay in my lane. These are my friends, those are your friends. No new friends. People here are very much about extremes. All or nothing, or mine and yours. I personally feel that people here don't know how to share, and there's no sense of community mindset of helping your neighbor, of helping your friend, sometimes of even helping your family. People are so individualistic that they only care about me. That's the sensation that I have after coming back from Spain, where there's such a community-based mindset. I feel that people here don't trust each other. There's so much mistrust because people are so individualistic. I mean, everything here is privatized, even down to the garbage can. Every single house has their own garbage can, and if I take my dog on a walk in my neighborhood, for example, and he poops, I have to walk my dog poop around, if I pick it up in a bag, walk it around the whole neighborhood because God forbid I throw it in someone else's private garbage can. Everything is privatized. Everything is mine and yours. And I personally believe that that's not a healthy mindset. People just don't trust each other. And I think a big part of this is because of the politics. American politics suck. And that's really controversial. All I can talk about is from my experience. And here in the US, the race politics are very messed up. And I think that's obvious. I don't want to get into this too deeply because I know it's complex and it's a very controversial topic. And all I can talk about is my experiences. And after the situation, the story that I told you guys about at the beginning of this video, walking around my neighborhood when this woman kicked me off her property, all I could think about was, why did she kick me off her property? What about me was wrong to her? What was she afraid of? And I couldn't help but think, well, maybe if I wasn't Latina, she wouldn't have done that. Maybe if I looked differently, maybe if I was blonde hair, blue-eyed, she wouldn't have kicked me off her property. I'm not saying that's necessarily the case, but I'm saying that in a country where there is so much racism and discrimination, people from minority groups feel on edge. And people from minority groups truthfully feel that everyone, when these kind of situations happen, are against them. And I can just speak from my experience that I have experienced racism here in the US due to my ethnicity. Because my last name is Martinez, I'm Mexican American, I can tell you a few stories of things that have happened to me. So when I was studying in high school, I was taking an algebra class and I had a white male teacher, an older man, he's probably close to 70 now. So he's from totally a different generation. But he told me one day, "Hey Emma, you know, you're really smart for being Mexican." And I was 12 at the time, so I didn't really understand that that was racism. So I didn't tell any other teachers, I didn't tell counselors, I didn't even tell my family that he said this. That comment just has run through my mind since that time. Why do people underestimate me because of my last name or because of the way I look? And I just truthfully believe that this country has a big problem with racism. Maybe many of you who are Latino viewers, you live in the US, you can say, yeah, I have experienced racism here in the US. I'm speaking from my experiences, and I am 100% positive that someone watching this video has experienced racism as well. Talking a little bit more about the horrible politics here in the US, let's talk about gun violence, guys. Come on now. This country has a serious problem with violence in general and with glorifying violence. I mean, think of the common American movie in Hollywood. War movies, boom, boom, bang, bang, guns all over the place fighting. Why do we glorify violence so much? Why do we want to hurt people? That's something I will never understand about the American culture. There just seems to be some kind of glorification of violence, of weapons, of guns. And I think a lot of that has to do with propaganda. And it's a horrible thing. And I personally don't know what to think about all of this situation because I understand that some people like guns and people are safe and they have, you know, a metal safe and they go and they learn how to shoot and they go to shooting ranges. Some people hunt. That's your hobby. I'm not getting into that. It's none of my business what you do. But my problem is when we have mass killings and we have gun violence, we have young people losing their lives because this country can't get it together. All right, guys, I'm going off in this video. That's just the reality. It's been years of me contemplating why are there so many problems in this country. In Spain for 3.5 years, I'm starting to understand that there's a lot of propaganda and there's a lot of political messaging that messes with people. And so I want to read you guys some messages that I received as soon as I landed in Seattle. And this is something that has never, ever happened to me in Spain. I have never received any political or propaganda messages. But for some reason, I landed here in the US and I got a new phone line and I started receiving weird messages. Messages from politicians or from people probably supporting different politicians. So I'm going to read these propaganda messages to you so you can see just how deep this propaganda messaging goes. So let me grab my phone and read these messages to you guys. Just reading them makes me laugh. Okay, this is one of my favorites, guys. It says, "Hi, this is Amanda with Washington GOP. Before you head out to your 4th of July celebrations, help us support parental rights and stop Washington Democrats from hiding kids from their parents." I mean, what kind of crazy messaging is that? And what proof do you have that Democrats are hiding kids? It's insanity. Let's read another one. And honestly, this one that I'm gonna read right now doesn't make any sense to me, but it's something about guns. It says, Gavin Newsom proposes a 28th Amendment. He wants to strip the constitutional rights of law-abiding citizens and ban some of America's most popular firearms. The NRA, it's all to stop Newsom and his gun-grabbing cronies. We need your support. What? Another one about guns, guys. Joe Biden has openly said that he wants to take your guns. What? It's insanity. These are literally messages that I receive daily to my phone, and I unsubscribe from these messages, but they keep coming in. What's going on? And what right do these people have to spam me with these messages? Political propaganda. I don't know. Here's another one that was kind of interesting to me. Conservative Miami Mayor Francis Suarez is running for president, and he needs your help to share his incredible story. Mayor Suarez's family fled from communism in Cuba to come to the US, and they always taught their son to believe in the power of faith and the power of the American dream. What American dream? Anyway, so those were some propaganda messages and are propaganda messages that I receive daily here in the US. I'm trying to unsubscribe, but every day a new number messages me. I don't know what it is. These are the kind of messaging and just brainwashing that American politics does, and I am so serious about that. There's a lot of brainwashing. Anyway, I'm gonna move on from this topic because it gets to be very controversial. I can only speak from my experiences. And hey, I would love to hear your experiences down below in the comments. So tell me what you think about all of this. What do you think about the propaganda? What do you think about maybe you've experienced some racist or racism here in the US? You can let me know in the comment section. At the end of the day, this is a place for us to share our experiences, and this is a safe space as well. So let's get into some less heavy topics, guys. One of the things that I really hate about the US is the wastefulness. And I mean this in all senses. For example, if you go to a restaurant, you can only buy like huge plates of food. Like, I don't need this much food. And then people end up wasting food because you have to pay $20 or $25 for a huge plate of food. Why? It's not necessary. And I miss tapas. In Spain, you can just get little plates, little tapas, you know, and you can picar, get some food here and there. But you don't need to have this huge, gigantic plate of steak or this huge hamburger with French fries. It's just too much, and people end up wasting all of that extra food. And another thing that drives me crazy is the... Oh man, okay. The need for everyone to have the perfect green lawn. We're in a drought, people. It hasn't rained in Washington in months. And you're gonna water your lawn every single day, knowing the water scarcity that we have. You're gonna water your lawn so you have the perfect grass. I don't get it. Your lawn is fine, you know? That's another example of wastefulness. And another thing that really drives me crazy about the US is that you have to drive everywhere. Maybe that's my region. I live in Washington State, and the public transportation is not great. They're expanding the light rail, which is a train that can take you throughout the city. They're currently expanding it. But really, we have to drive everywhere by car. And I think people get kind of lazy. People don't walk anywhere. In Spain, well, I think in Europe in general, people walk a lot. And people go on daily walks because it's good for your health, but people also walk to the store instead of driving to the store. People walk places or take public transportation. In the US, because the distances are so big, you can't really do that. Those are some of the things that I have been reflecting on the past few years living in Spain. I think living in Europe has really refreshed my mindset and influenced my mindset. And so I have a totally different perspective. There's a lot of people who feel comfortable with life in the US, and that's okay. To each their own. All I'm saying is I'm going back to Spain. Oh man, I went off in this video, guys. So I would really love to know your opinions and your experiences of life here in the US. Or maybe you've never come here. What do you expect life in the US would be like? Or what do you think? What is your perspective on life in the US? Tell me down in the comment section. And thank you so much for watching this video. I hope I didn't offend you too much, but hey, to each their own, right? So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and leave a 5-star review on Spotify. I'll see you guys in the next video.